What's up, Andre? Welcome in, guys. TikTok is crazy. What up? Thank you for the likes, guys. Happy Wednesday. I just had to restart my phone and it still didn't help. I don't know what's going on. TikTok's being a pain. But welcome in. It's Wednesday. For those who don't know, this is our morning motivation live. We talk about manifestation. We talk about, we're working on the book, You Are a Badass, and going through, the book and how to shift your mindset out of negative and into a blessed mindset. I am doing a challenge this month. I'm posting videos each day on what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for. So this live is all for you about questions and how you can get better with manifestation, and really pull in what it is that you truly desire. Let's check this out again. I know Lindsay wanted to come in. She was in earlier, but tap the screen, guys. My Wi-Fi is off. Oh man, it was green when I started. TikTok's just being crazy. I love this book too. I love the way this author writes because it just feels like you're having a conversation. And it's how I speak. And so when I read this, I feel like I'm literally sitting down with a friend and just having a conversation. I love the book. I love the way she writes. I have You Are a Badass at Making Money as well, and that's the next book we'll do. So I wanted to come on, and we're only on chapter 2, so if you want to hop in and share your thoughts, I appreciate that. I love having people come in and put their opinions and their little thoughts and ideas. They're not little. Nothing's little. Welcome in, guys. Thank you for tapping the screen. Share the live. Invite your friends. Get some morning motivation this morning. Yesterday, what seemed to kind of be good was even just reading parts from the chapter. Because I don't know, like I said, I feel like it's like having a conversation with a friend. If anyone to move on from a place where you're now, the book is literally for you. Highly recommended. Yes. And I was explaining this yesterday too, like when it comes to manifestation, she kind of breaks it down in the science part of it, like dealing with subconscious and conscious, where a lot of manifesting mentors, gurus, what have you, actually go on more on the spiritual side. And this is more on the logical side, which I feel a lot of people who may not have experienced the spiritual awakening yet can kind of grasp, and it actually helps them see their potential even more, and actually probably will prompt that awakening to come. I love that you read this, though. I love having people in here that have read books like this. I'm a big person on self-development. We're always, we're learning and growing constantly. There's no reason to ever stop. You read and listened to the audio 5 times. That's awesome. That's amazing. That's incredible. I love that. Um, I want to continue doing this, not just with this book, but her next book, but I want to do this with different books because it not only does it help you guys, it helps keeps me accountable with my own development as well. And you can always learn from whether you agree with everything or not. So the quote that they open up with chapter 2, which it's called the G word, and they open up with, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. It's hard to get there where she is, but it's very motivating. It is. I mean, I think it comes down to whether or not you believe it's possible. And that's with manifestation with anything. You feel like you're in a spiritual church. I love it. TikTok is like a big old spiritual church anymore, it feels like. But that's because that's where our algorithm is too. Um, so now the one thing that I don't like to really put emphasis on is vibration. Although it's only because, yes, I believe in vibration, I believe in energy, I believe in all of that. But I think a lot of people get stuck. How do I raise my vibration? And they'll try all sorts of things, right? I do it. I listen to sleep meditations. I listen to music that, you know, helps get me in a better mood, right? But I think people get so stuck on that word vibration, right? So they're like, oh, I must listen to this certain number of hertz music in order to get there. It'll help you, but that's not the point. Is for you to shift your whole being, your soul, right? Your state, so to speak. So there's things that I don't, like I said, I just don't emphasize vibration because I think people get stuck on how to do that when really all it is just shifting from who you are and placing yourself into who you want to be, right? And understanding that there's different ways that you act when you're in a negative state versus when you're in a positive state or a happy state or a loving state. Don't get too stuck on the vibration of it all. Yes, when you raise your vibration, better things happen, right? But it's the music will help, but the music's not going to do it. It's you. It's your work. It's your shift. It's you moving out of the doom and gloom and into the possibilities. So, um, she talks about how she and her friends used to go to Good Morning. Um, they used to go to a country bar, and they're city girls, and they used to make fun of the people who line danced, and then the next thing they know, they're in there doing it and having fun with it, and they're practicing outside of it, right? Me too. I'm a big fan of motivation podcasts, self-love school, and sleep meditation. Yes, it's all good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using it. It's just, it's, at the end of the day, it's you who gets you there. They're just tools, right? And they're wonderful to use, but it isn't what does the work. It's you who does the work. Um, but yeah, so this is kind of like how she found spirituality, is what she says. It's kind of like that whole thing. Like at first it started out as a joke, right? And making fun of it. And the next thing she knows, she's like knee deep in this line dancing. And that's how she found, as she says, God or source. Um, Good morning, Maddie. I see you in here. Thank you for the likes, guys. Keep tapping the screen. So she says, this is sort of the same way the God thing happened for me. It started out with much snarkiness and eye rolling, but I was so broke and clueless and sick of being a weenie about really going for it in my life that I was open to suggestions. Which is why when I started reading books on finding your calling and making money and getting over yourself already, and they all had this spiritual side to them, I didn't toss them in the goodwill pile with my usual "this God spirituality crap is for suckers" attitude. Instead, I decided to give a good old God a chance because I had nothing to lose. Literally. And lo and behold, some of it wasn't totally idiotic. So I started reading more about it. Then I started studying it. Then I started putting it into practice. Then I noticed how much better it made me feel. Then I started believing it. Then I noticed all the awesome shifts starting to happen in my life. Then I became obsessed with it. Then I started loving it. Then I started radically changing my life with it. Then I started teaching it. Now I'm basically riding the mechanical bull about it, punching my fist in the air and hollering to the guy manning the controls, "Hit it, Wayne!" But this is the truth. Like, you can study it, you can make fun of it, you can continue to discuss it, but until you put it into practice and you really focus on it and do the work, nothing's going to change. But even just putting it into practice ever so slightly, you're going to see a shift, right? You can read the book front to back 5 million times, but if you don't put it into practice, if you don't actually apply what you learn, what are you doing? You're just gathering knowledge, right? So that's a huge thing with manifestation. It's a huge thing with anything. Anything you're trying to learn about. You can know it frontwards and backwards, but until you actually apply it and practice it, you're not going to get better, right? Practice makes perfect, right? And that's what I like doing. That's why I like doing small chunks, right? Because let me tell you, when I read a book, when I get a book, I almost always read it cover to cover in a day. What does that do for me? Right? Yes, it's that good. That tells me it's a good book. But if I'm not practicing it and actually applying what I learn, it's not doing anything for me. That's why it's important with these self-help, these self-development, self-love books to take it and take what you read, take what you learn and apply it. It's the only way you're going to see, any type of result. You can sit there and you can talk spirituality, you can talk manifestation, but until you actually put it into practice, you're not going to see results. You're going to sit there and stay stuck and say, why isn't it working for me? We have to apply it. All right, she goes on to say, wherever you happen to stand on the God issue, excuse me, let me just say that this whole improving your life thing is going to be a lot easier if you have an open mind about it. Hi, Michaela. I've totally shifted myself into a positive mindset, and I've noticed such a huge change. That's awesome, Maddie. It's amazing. It is, and it's different. Like, you really do feel different. You see things differently. You are actively manifesting all day, every day. Yeah, good. You should. You should be anything that you want. You should be manifesting about it. A good day, a good lunch, a great conversation. You should always be imagining the outcome you desire and not what you don't. So that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. And this is where I totally agree with her. Definitely feel like the spiritual awakening has occurred with all of this, and I love it. There's more to come. There's more to come. Spiritual awakening is a beautiful thing, but can sometimes also be difficult. I won't lie to you about that. Because when you truly start to see things for what they are, you see things differently. And it's not always pretty. But the more you focus, like I say all the time, focus on your day. Don't focus too much into the future. Don't worry too much about the past. Address them as they come, but focus on your day. Focus on the present moment. Yeah, yes, you have. So this is where I completely agree with her. She says, call it whatever you want. God, goddess, the big guy, the universe, source, energy, higher power, the great Puba, gut, intuition, spirit, the force, the zone, the Lord, the vortex, the mother lode. It doesn't matter. Personally, I find the God word to be a tad too loaded. I prefer source energy, the universe, the vortex, spirit, the mother lode, all of which I will use interchangeably throughout the book. FYI. Whatever you choose to call it, it isn't important. What is important is that you develop an awareness of and a relationship with the source energy that's surrounding you and within you, which is all the same energy, in which you will be your best pal ever if you give it a chance. Because here's the thing, all of us are connected to this limitless power, and most of us aren't using but a fraction of it. And like I said, this is where I agree with her. Whether you call it God, whether you call it source, whether you call it spirit, whether you call it your spirit guides, it doesn't matter. Your higher self, it is that power that we all have access to. You'll hear me say from time to time, you are God. You are God, right? You're a divine being having a human experience. We are all tapped in, right? It's just whether or not we choose to use this source of energy. You have that ability. You have that capability. It's just whether or not you choose to tap in. Our energy is taking a joyride in these bodies of ours, learning, growing, and evolving along the way. One would hope, anyway. I suppose numbing, shrinking, and moving back in with our parents is also an option. Until our corporal journey comes to an end and we move on, thanks for the lift, this realization that we're made up and connected to source energy made me want to have a deeper understanding of spirituality. Hey, Ginger. So I can make a physical experience as awesome as possible. And let me tell you, ever since I got into it, it has been awesomeness maximus. When I'm connected with source energy and in the flow, I'm so much more powerful, so much more in tune to my physical world and the world beyond, and just so much happier in general. And the more I meditate and the more attention I give to this relationship with my invisible superpower, the more effortlessly I can manifest the things I want into my life, and do it with such specificity and at such rapid rate that it makes my hair stand up. Sorry. It's like I finally figured out how to make my magic wand work. If loving spirit is wrong, I don't want to be right. And that's what I try to portray to you guys. Like, once you actually tap in and you see the power that you embody, that you can tap into and use to gain your desires, you really do feel limitless. It is addicting. It absolutely is addicting. Here's the foundation for all the work we're about to do together on your life. The universe is made up of source energy. All energy vibrates at a certain frequency, which means you're vibrating at a certain frequency. And everything you desire and don't desire is also vibrating at a certain frequency. Vibration attracts like vibration, otherwise known as the law of attraction. The basic idea is focus on that which makes you feel good, and ye shall find attract that which makes you feel good. But here's the thing. We do not attract what we want, we attract what we are. And I don't know, I can't remember if she really gets into this right now, but that's the thing. That's why if you want something, you have to bring yourself to that level. You have to shift. I talk about this with even specific persons. You keep getting yeeted out. TikTok's being weird. I am constantly on yellow. I'm not even on green. It's pissing me off. So, so, like, we're shifting. There's just an infinite amount of realities. An infinite, okay? And in different realities, there are things that you have, right? There's lower level, there's higher level, there's in between levels. So in order to get what you want, you have to shift into that reality. She talks about vibration, raising to the vibration. I talk shift, right? It's like, think of it like having like a lazy Susan of realities. And you can sit there and you can spin until you find that reality in which you want, right? And you can literally start to either pull it to you or, put on the suit, whatever, however you want to, look at it. But that's the way I look at it. If this reality, for example, like at the moment, I have one car and I want my own car. So I'm shifting into a different reality in which I have my own car again. And I know what car that is, and I drive that car, and I experience that car, and I'm moving towards that car, and it's being pulled in. But, there's a reality where I have a different car, and there's a reality in which I have maybe a truck. There's a reality in which, I walk barefoot. Like, there's just so many different realities. So you get to pick and choose, right? And you can mix and match, and you're constantly shifting. Every decision you make, you're constantly shifting. All right. And then she says, we're all attracting energy to ourselves all the time, whether we realize it or not. And when we're vibrating at a low frequency, feeling pessimistic, needy, victimized, jealous, shameful, worried, convinced we are ugly, yet expect high frequency, awesome things and experiences to come into our lives, we're often disappointed. You need to raise your frequency to match the vibration of the one you want to tune into. It's like trying to listen to a certain radio station but tuning in at the wrong frequency. If you have a hot and sexy date and want to listen to 105.9 slow jams, but you set your dial to 89.9 FM National Public Radio, you're not going to get slow jams. You're going to be slow jamless, but you're more likely to attract a discussion about immigration laws in the U.S. instead of attracting a relaxed and candlelit body that's in the mood for love. The universe will match whatever vibration you put out, and you can't fool the universe. Which is why when you're vibrating at a high frequency, awesome things seem to flow to you effortlessly, and you seem to stumble over the perfect people and opportunities all the time, and vice versa. As Albert Einstein observed, coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. And we say that a lot here. There are no coincidences. It's the way things are moving for you. There are no coincidences. And I love that's God's way of being anonymous. Right? That's universe bringing it to you. That's source. That's your higher self. However you want to call it, whatever you want to say. When you learn to consciously master the energetic realm, believe in not yet seen, and stay in your highest frequency, you harness your innate power to create the reality you desire. So once again, good old awareness is your key to freedom. Once you realize that you can dramatically improve your situation by connecting with source energy and raising your frequency, you can freaking do it already. I'll show you exactly how later. Instead of opting to stay in the suck hole and feeling like a victim of a pathetic circumstances such as microwaving ramen in its styrofoam cup for dinner or working for someone who makes your flesh crawl. Right? So we sit here and we daydream of a life that we want. But yet we're still complaining about where we are, right? I swear, cat. My kitten just pulled my iPad off my couch. Hang on. Oh. Rory. This She's lucky she's cute at this moment. She's very lucky. Sorry, guys. Thanks for being patient with me. So, we have to be aware of the things we're saying, the things we're doing, the things we're experiencing and feeling. If we're feeling negative, or we're feeling depressed, or we're feeling as if the world is against us, we're just recreating more of that. And that's what she's saying. Like, we have to be aware of our surroundings, our feelings, what we're putting out there. We can't fool them. We can sit there and say, oh yeah, I'm in such a pot. Jesus, this cat. Rory, this is not a cat tower. Oh, quit it. So we can't fool the universe and sit there and say, I'm thinking positively. I am. I feel as if I already have it, right? When really all you're doing is you're pretending. You're pretending to feel that way. She's got something, all right. She thinks everything's a toy. She's crazy. All right. So, it's important because I see it a lot. I do it myself where I'm like, no, I'm manifesting this. I'm already there. When really then I look at the conversations I'm having and I'm not. You have to be honest with yourself. People come in here and say, I'm thinking positively. Okay, great. That's wonderful. Are you feeling what you want to be true? Right? You have to be brutally honest. You have to really look at yourself. You have to. Because that's the only way you're going to change. Just by saying, yeah, I'm doing it. Are you? Are you really? Because if you really want the change, you're going to do the work. Willow, I swear, you pull this off this couch, I'm going to yeet you too. My cats are crazy. All right. In order to truly raise your vibration, you got to believe that everything you want is available to you. And the best way to keep this belief strong is by staying connected to source energy. It's like, Rory, this is not a cat tower. It's not, it's my ring light. Stop. Thanks, just ran in the house. It probably is. They're freaking nuts. She keeps jumping on my ring light. She thinks it's a cat tower, and it's not. And Willow now has noticed that the iPad is plugged in, and so, of course, that's in her way. Alright, it's like we're surrounded by this big, all-you-can-eat buffet of incredible experiences. Rory. Crazy cats. Alright. All-you-can-eat buffet of incredible experiences and insights and feelings and opportunities and things and peoples and ways to share our gifts with the world. And all we have to do is align our energy with what we want and take decisive action. Rory. To allow this good into our lives. And this decisive action part is key. Ouch. God, Willow just stabbed me with her nail. Y'all need Jesus right now. And that's the thing. A lot of people want to sit there and wish and hope and manifest things, but they're unwilling to step towards what it is that they want. That's key. Okay, so that might mean if you're looking for, like I said, a new car, you need to go look at new cars. It's not going to show up in your driveway. It's not going to be like, oh, here's a new car for you. No, there's action to take, right? We can sit here and we can wish and we can hope and we can manifest all day long, but if we're not doing the things that get us there, right? And you'll know what to do if you really feel attracted, in tune, manifesting that particular item. It's like losing weight, right? You might see yourself, let's say that you want to lose 20 pounds. I swear, these spam calls are crazy. So let's say you want to lose 20 pounds. You may start imagining looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing a thinner version of yourself. You may imagine somebody saying, wow, you look incredible. What are you doing? Right? You might imagine somebody say, or even your doctor say, wow, you've lost 20 pounds. Congratulations, or whatever. You may start confirmation, right? So you might then be like, okay, I can envision this. I can see myself. I can feel into the conversations of people congratulating me, or, me looking at myself in the mirror and saying, holy crap, I did it, right? Or feeling when you put your jeans on, how loose they are, right? And that might be like, you know what, I think I'm going to go for a walk. And that might be just all you do. You might just start walking, right? You might feel the need to go get a gym membership. You don't force it, right? But you have to listen to your nudges. Okay, you might be nudged at that particular moment to start, just take a walk around the block. The next thing you know, you might be walking 5 miles a day, or maybe you start running, right? There's different things that you're going to feel pulled to do, right? It might not be walking, it might not be the gym, it might be, kayaking. It might be, you know, um, jump roping, yoga. Yeah, it could be anything. But make sure you follow the nudges and try it. It might not be the right thing at first. You might start walking and say, you know what? It's now winter. I don't want to be outside walking. So then you start doing yoga at home. And that feels even better, right? Or you might find a yoga class that you do once a week and you do, 5 other days at home. What matters is that you follow your intuition, your nudges, your ideas, right? They might not be what you stay with, but there are bridges we cross to get to where we want. Because let's be honest. Maybe, oh my gosh, Rory, I am going, no. Um, you know, by the time that you lose that weight, maybe you can run a marathon, right? Maybe you see yourself running a marathon. Well, guess what? You're not going to be able to start and run a marathon in one day, right? It may start with you walking, right? It may start with you, doing yoga. It may start with you, just doing planks. There are bridges to go. So where you start is not your end, right? It's the action to start that process. It's important to understand. Okay, a step is just a step in the right direction. It can change, but you have to take that first step and continue to follow it. Sadly, we can't just float around our neighbor's pool on a raft with cup holders, sipping cocktails, and being all high frequency while waiting for unicorns to fly down from the sky. We have to take action, hell-bent for glory kind of action. The trick is to have both parts, energy and action, working in unison. Unless your energy is lined up properly with which you really desire, any action you take is going to require way more effort to get you where you want to go, if it gets you there at all. Once in a while, you may get lucky doing one without the other, but if you get very clear on what you truly want, rather than what you think you should want, believe that it's available to you regardless of your present circumstances, by staying connected to source energy and keeping your frequency high, and take decisive action, you will eventually succeed. Have you ever had a dream where you're flying and you're having such a blast and then you realize, hey, wait a minute, I'm flying. I can't fly. And then you come crashing back down to the ground and you can't get yourself back up again, no matter what you try. This is the way beliefs work. Even if it seems impossible, you have to have faith. We talk about that a lot in my lives. Anyway, in the second you stop believing, you pop that bubble and you stop attracting the magic in your life. The force is with you. This just this isn't just about believing and be all high vibe when the sun is out and the bunnies and hopping around either. This is about believing. Even when things are at their most uncertain or absolute crappiest, that there is a bright, shiny flip side within your reach. As French author and fearless truth seeker Andre Gide, I think that's how you say it, so aptly put, one does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shores for a very long time. This is about believing that we live in a loving, kind, and abundant universe instead of one that's petty, mean, and likes other people more than it likes you. This is about your faith being greater than your fear. So that's chapter 2. And that's all about believing in your power, believing in your ability to connect to source, to God, to the universe. Thank you. I'm happy you guys are here. It helps. Like I said, this is a motivation for me as well, a morning motivation as well for me. And I love sharing this information. So today, I want you guys to truly think about certain things, okay? When we're manifesting, when we have a goal, when there's something we desire, right? I tell you guys all this all the time. What implies that you have what you want? I want you to imagine that. So a new car, what implies that I have a new car? Well, it could be parked out front of my house, but that to me isn't quite an implication because I live on a main street. People can park in front of my house all the time. Hello, Amanda. Good morning. So to me, it's actually experienced driving, seeing my hands on that wheel, driving it, right? Driving my kids to school and in the, in the drop-off line. Anything like that. And and connecting with that and feeling that, that's what implies to me having a new car. Maybe it's, if you're working on a relationship, what implies that you had a good conversation with your partner, or that you are, in a very loving relationship, right? We want to work on different things, but we also want to take action. Okay, we can manifest for a better relationship, but sometimes that requires us to open up the lines of communication. Sometimes that takes us not reacting to something that normally gets under our skin, right? Because that's good. That's gonna come up. When we talk about relationships and we're trying to shift our relationship from maybe something that's a little strained into something that's strong, right? There's still a lot of past. Good morning, whiskey. There's still a lot of past hurt and pain that we have to let go of in order to move forward. Okay, so there's going to be times where when you're manifesting, you feel all good and happy, and you're like, yes, I'm vibing, I'm pulling this in, I'm manifesting, I'm doing everything, and then something happens, and it knocks you off your square. It knocks you off that high vibration, right? They say something triggers you, and you react, and you get mad, and you get angry. Hello, how are you, girls? It's okay. Okay, but don't stay there. Okay, it's important for you to notice, okay, what triggered me? What was it? What was the reasoning? Right? What was I feeling? What was the deep down feeling that made me triggered? Was I feeling insecure? Was I feeling, betrayed? Was I feeling get really honest with yourself, okay? And allow yourself to feel it and release it. and say, okay, I'm letting this go. I'm giving this to God. You can even say that. I give this to God. I give this to the universe. I give this to source. Take this off of me, right? And feel it being away. Like, and that's not to say that it won't come back. I do this on a daily basis. There are things that trigger me still that I have thought time and time again that I was over. It there's some deep rooted shit that we deal with. We were talking about that yesterday with limiting beliefs. Like, we all have things that may be a bit deep rooted, and we need to process them and stop trying to push them down. Let them come up, let them go out, okay? And acknowledge what's triggering it. 2:20 a.m. here, but I'm good. Aw, I'm good. It's 9:22 here. So, like, I'm going to stop at the videos because that's why he texted and started an argument. He didn't text and start an argument. You imagined him doing that. In some way, shape, or form, you imagined an argument. Let's take that power, Whiskey. Don't blame him. What did you do in order to that prompted that? You imagined an argument, right? Or you were being hurt, right? You felt hurt. You felt betrayed because you saw he was following other women or whatever. So in your mind, let's really think about this, because this is the only way you're going to be able to release this and move forward. Okay? What were you thinking all day yesterday? What were you feeling all day yesterday? Right? Were you imagining conversations? Because you kept saying, if I bring this up to him, will he stop? If I refuse to talk to him, will he stop? You're creating this conflict in your whole soul because you were so triggered by it. He said he doesn't have access to that account. So, I mean, you have to, don't make this about him. Don't even worry about what he says. Think about what triggered you and how you continue to roll with that trigger. Where you could have said, okay, listen, I understand. I'm triggered because I feel insecure. I'm triggered because I feel like I'm not good enough, right? I know, and try to shift out of it. I know I'm good enough. I am good enough. I don't need validation from him to prove that I'm good enough, right? This could be old followings. This could be from before. This doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean what I think it means. But you're still putting meaning towards it. You were wondering why he did it, right? You were wondering why. It could have been old. It could have been something that he did, you know, when he first got on TikTok or when you guys were initially separated. Like, don't put so much meaning on things. It doesn't mean anything, and it certainly does not mean what you think it means, right? That's some things that help pull me out of those negative spirals, okay? But the fact of the matter is you were feeling jaded, you were feeling jilted, you were feeling betrayed, and you ran with it. And you ran with it for the rest of the day, and that's why an argument started. Take that power. Don't give it to him. Don't say he texted me and wanted to start an argument. Ultimately, you wanted that argument too. If you can hone in on that power, if you can harness that power and you can take responsibility for that, everything will start to shift. Even just you by saying, I did that. I'm sorry you experienced that, honey. I really am. I know that's not easy. Trust me, I've been in the same situation. I've been in the same situation. I've been told to shut my fucking mouth so many times. I've been told that I'm the worst person ever. Because you know what? Because deep down, part of me felt that way or felt that's how he felt. There have been things that I have been told that I never thought I would be. They were fears. They were fears that came up, and I brought them to life. I brought them to life. And I can sit there and I can put a boundary up and I can say, no, you will not speak to me that way. I will not listen to this, and I can walk away. Right? And that's the best thing I can do anyways, because otherwise I'm going to keep spiraling in that negativity. You're so stuck on what to do in love. Yeah, you need to know what you want. You have to know what it is that you want in love. How you want to be treated. Right? What's your partner do? Right? How do they treat you? How do you treat your partner? Um, there's so many different ways to move in this, but before you can manifest anything, you have to know what it is that you want. You need to know what that looks like. You need to be able to know what implies that you have what you want. That's okay. You can manifest your perfect relationship or your most desired relationship. It's actually easier that way, honestly. Trust me, I've been with my husband almost 19 years in a relationship. We've been married almost 12. And looking at the span of these past almost 19 years, like, we've been so many different people. Even though we're still the same person, there's been different versions of us that have shown up over time. Some good, some not so good. And sometimes we get so stuck on the bad versions of ourselves and them that it's hard to move out of. That's very true. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Amanda. I mean, we show up differently all the time. I'm not the same person I was when I first met my husband, and neither is he. I mean, we've been through hell, we've been through amazing times, we've done some incredible things, and we've had to deal with some really shitty ass things too. Good morning, sweet Rose. Good. I would revise the whole situation, honestly. That happens. That's a mixture of different things. I want someone who wants to grow with me and not run away at the first hurdle. So what would imply that? Yeah, you are. You definitely are a different person to different people. Like, yeah, I want you to think, um, how would you wake up knowing that you have um that support? Yeah, good and bad. Yep. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is all good and nobody is all bad. We both have light and dark. We have both light and dark. So, when we're trying to manifest that relationship, how do you wake up knowing that you have your desired partner laying beside you? Or how do you feel at night when snuggling up? Or, um, like, there are different ways we carry ourselves when we feel secure and safe. And there are ways that we carry ourselves when we feel insecure and scared and not good enough. Did you notice the difference? Confidence, security, right? We feel good. We're confident within ourselves. But when we're not confident, we slouch, right? We slouch. We talk differently. The tone's different. But when we're confident, we're up, right? We're up. We're strong. We're not afraid to speak. It is an inner peace. It really is. And it's different too, because even though there are so many things there are so many things that we interact with each and every day, different feelings, different emotions we come across, right? Different situations we react differently to. We enter different states in dealing. Think about that. Like, me interacting with you guys is me coming off as a mentor, right? I'm in a mentor state. When I interact with my husband, I'm in a wife state. When I interact with my children, I'm in a mother state. Those are 3 different personalities. Those are 3 different people. Okay? They all share one thing. They're caring, they're kind, right? But there are times when I have to be, you know, a disciplinarian, right? There are times where I have to, express my feelings, and sometimes that doesn't always come off right. You thought you had, turns out he's seeing 3 other women. I'm sorry, honey. I've been married for 33 years and I has all that, but then he cheated and knew. It is 3 different people. It is totally 3 different people. I'm sorry you dealt with that. There's so many different things on why situations like that happen too. And in order to take your power back, it's important for you to notice what you were imagining during that time too. Maybe things weren't great and you were imagining, you were fearful that things were falling apart. You were fearful that he would stray. Did you make him stray? No. No, they always have a choice, right? I'm not taking that away. But at the end of the day, our fears manifest so easily. So, I mean, it's not to say that it's your fault that he cheated. Not at all. He still made that choice. But our fears put that out there and open up the path, and they get to choose whether they take that path. And I get that. Being guarded is not always a bad thing, but we have to be open in order to receive too. If we're constantly have this wall up, right? If we constantly have a wall up, there's no way to come through, right? So we can be sitting there wanting a relationship, desiring a very fulfilling relationship, but we're like, but here's my wall. Nope, you can't come through. You're not going to receive it. And that's not to say that you need to go out and be open with everybody. Absolutely not. But you have to be willing to open up to the right person. Yeah, no, I get it. It is. It is a challenge. It is a challenge, especially with work. So with work too, it's, you know, what are you imagining about the people you work with? Right? Whether it's clients, whether it's coworkers, whether it's bosses, what is it that you're imagining? What are you imagining about relationships? What are you imagining about dating? What are you imagining about, being with somebody? Right? What are you imagining with, um, your work relationships? What are you imagining with your love relationships? What are you imagining with your friendships? You have to be aware of what it is that you're thinking and feeling and imagining. And setting boundaries is good. But I want you to start imagining that everything flows easily. Imagine having good communication. Imagine having great conversations. Imagine having help. Imagine having, whatever it is that you desire, right? What is it that you truly desire? Because I'm guessing it's not this turmoil. Jesus. I live and work at the same place, so very hard to set boundaries. Yeah, exactly. We manifest what we're feeling into. If we're imagining constantly, oh great, I have to deal with Greg. Greg's always an asshole. He never even listens, right? Guess what? Greg's just going to keep showing up like that, right? So, we we have to notice what we're imagining, how we're preparing, right? We have to notice that, and we have to shift that, right? It might not work the first time, right? Because sometimes it's hard to shift from dealing with an asshole to dealing with somebody who is open to communicate, somebody who's open to ideas, right? Because we've told ourselves and we've embedded in us that Greg doesn't listen to anybody. Greg wants to do it's his way or the highway. I'm good. So, I mean, that's that's fabulous. That's part of a bridge. But make sure that while you're doing all this too, you continue to see it as effortless, as easy, as nobody's holding a grudge. Like everybody, they're happy to give this to you. You've earned it. You deserve it. Good. Whiskey, that's good. Good morning, Mary. How are you? I'm good. I'm doing good, Mary. Thank you. Just doing some chatting about manifesting. We just did another chapter in You Are a Badass, and we're kind of talking about that, being aware, taking an action, finding different doors are opening up. That's awesome, Amanda. Well, here's the other thing, Chantel. When you manifest, it has to be all about you. It has to be. Okay? But we also can't be in a one-sided relationship. Right? Whether it's them doing all the work or us doing all the work, we have to have an equal partnership in all things. I don't do free yes nos on my morning lives. That's in my evening streams. This is just we're conversating about manifesting and pulling in our desires. So when we manifest consciously, consciously manifest for ourselves, we have to make it about us, not about the other person, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all you. Even them, they're you pushed out. They're you pushed out. They're marrying you, right? So, um, again, like when we're manifesting, if we're manifesting a relationship, how do we want to feel? How do we want to experience it? Who do we want to be? Right? We want to feel secure. We want to feel, and I'm just using my experience. We want to feel secure. We want to feel safe. We want to feel loved. We want to feel, um, you know, an equal partner, right? Whether it's this person or somebody different, an equal partnership. What would that look like? You have to ask yourself these questions. Like you can say you want something, but if you don't know what it looks like, it's not going to come. You have to have an idea of what it looks like. What would that look like to you? What implies that you have an equal partnership? Are you doing dishes together? Or maybe you see them doing dishes while you're, cleaning up the table. Think of different things that imply an equal partnership. We're constantly 24/7 manifesting. And it's most of the time it's on autopilot because that's what we manifest 24/7 and we've been doing it our whole lives. Absolutely. And until you start to be aware of what you're thinking and feeling and manifesting and imagining, it's going to continue to be unconscious manifesting. Absolutely. So that's why it's important to be present and understand what it is that you're feeling and experiencing and imagining for future, right? The future is now, 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 now. It can be 2 minutes ahead, it can be 2 days ahead, it can be 2 years ahead. You're constantly imagining. Start imagining for yourself for what you desire, not for what you don't desire. Right? We're so ingrained to prepare for the worst that we're constantly imagining, well, what would we do if the worst happens? Guess what? You're preparing for it. And then as you prepare for it, that's what you're manifesting. Above all else, I want someone that accepts my 5 children. What would that look like? What would imply that? What would that look like to you? There's always questions with this. You should always be asking yourself, what do I want? Oh my lord. Freaking phone calls. They're all spam calls. Go away, people. And I can't go on Do Not Disturb just in case school calls. But that's what you should always be asking. What do I want? What do I want? What does that look like? What implies that I have that? How would I feel? Make it all about you. I want you to switch that. How would you feel when he gets there? What does that look like? Like what are you imagining? Right? How are you? How are you? How do you feel? Right? You can feel the embrace. What's the feeling that you feel when he embraces you? Right? Don't make it about him. Don't even worry about what he says, does, whatever. How do you feel with the time spent when he's there? Feel it now. Like I needed to add something into my work schedule yesterday and I started thinking about this. Nice. That's awesome. He wants to walk by my side while I unpack my many bags of baggage. I love it. Hello, hello. Selena, I do not do yes nos in the morning. That's always in my evening lives. Good. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that, Whiskey. Keep playing with that. Keep playing with that. Imagine different things. Imagine, sitting down to dinner with him. Imagine conversations. How does it feel cleaning up the dinner table? That you guys had an amazing conversation. Or, maybe you go out for a date night. Oh, you don't have to apologize, honey. It's all good. I know that's going to come in. I appreciate you. I'm only going to be on here for probably about another 15 minutes and then I'm hopping off. I got to get ready to babysit. So, yeah, it's always important for you to constantly, just check in with yourself, right? What am I thinking and what am I feeling right now? What am I imagining? Wake up each morning and ask yourself, what do I want out of this day? How do I want this day to go? What are some things I want to do? I'm always imagining him coming through the door and really asking for forgiveness for all he's done. Is that the end? Is that truly what you want? You want an apology or do you want a relationship with him? And I'm not picking on you, I'm asking. Is the apology what you want or is the relationship what you want? Because I understand some people just do want the apology, right? They don't want the relationship. But if it's the relationship you want, you need to be focusing on the relationship, okay? Focusing on being back together because you know what? If you guys are back together, that apology happened. Don't focus on the apology. That's a middle, all right? Focus on the relationship and being together. Focus on being in a healthy relationship. Don't make it about him. Make it about you. If that's supposed to be him, He'll come in and he'll do the right thing and he'll apologize and things will get back together. But if it's somebody else, somebody better, they could come in as well, right? So don't focus so much on him. Focus on the relationship that you desire, having that trust again, right? Being able to trust your partner, being able to openly like express your feelings, whatever that is to you. Okay? Because the apology is a middle. And we don't want to mess with middles. It gets muddy. Okay? If you guys are in a relationship, that implies the apology. So don't get stuck with that. So go to the relationship that you desire. You just imagined a good morning text. Awesome. Morning and wants a Zoom meeting in a little while. That is unconscious manifestation. Yes. Yes. I mean, because that's probably something that you really don't like to do. So um or that's just what we expect, right? Those are expectations. We can change those. We absolutely can change those. So the constant question you should be asking yourself, especially when you feel upset or you feel down, ask yourself, okay, what's 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 putting me in this state? What's putting me in this down state? What's putting me in this upset state? What's putting me in this depressed state? Right? Really start asking yourself, what triggered me into this? Right? What do I want instead? Right? What would that look like? Who would I be? How would I act? Right? And imagine that. What would imply that it's happening? So you should constantly be asking yourself questions throughout the day. Okay, where am I right now? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Like, check yourself, because we go on autopilot so fast, right? We get in our routines, we do what we need to do, and we keep moving, right? We know how to be efficient that way. But it's important for you to take moments throughout, at least 3 times a day. I'm just going to say that. Take 3 times a day, take 5 minutes, check yourself. Okay, what's going on? What am I feeling? What am I thinking? What am I imagining right now? Like, what's going on? Where's my energy right now? Where do I want it to be? What implies that I have that, right? How would I feel? What would I be doing? How would I be different? Different is key, guys. Different is key. My mentor used to say different is better than better, because we're so fixated on being better. I'll do better. I'll try harder, right? How can you be different? What can you do differently than what you did before? Right? Because when we do the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. We want to do different. We want to be different. We want to experience different. But we can't experience different if we're still doing the same things. So we have to change that. We have to change that. We have to be different. And really, I mean, a lot of people will say, I say this a lot, don't try, just do it, right? There is no try, it's just do, right? But there is going to be trying, because you're going to do it and you're going to feel as if it didn't work. So you have to get back up, and the song that is playing is Aaliyah's Try Again. So it's all about trying differently, doing things differently, right? Yes, we're trying, but at the end of the day, we're doing something different. Because what we have been doing obviously isn't working, right? Or it's not working like we imagined it would, right? So we need to do something different. You're welcome. I'm glad you came in and you got this message. This is this is turning into be my favorite thing to do is waking up and coming on live and sharing my morning with you guys. Whether it's reading the book, whether it's just discussing manifestation, it is my favorite thing. I enjoy my evening lives. I love helping people. I love doing my tarot readings. I love doing all that. But at the end of the day, I love helping you guys. I love discussing this, and I love, opening my eyes and yours. Yeah, and I mean the apology is a middle. That just gets you because that's what you feel you need, and I'm not disputing that. But if you're focusing on just the apology, I get that, but yeah, but if you get too focused on the middle, you make it murky, you make it muddy, and the path is not clear to that. If the relationship is back, that kind of implies the apology, right? You know, you want the apology, and you know the only way that a relationship can occur is with an apology. So don't get stuck on the apology. That implies the relationship implies that you got that. Just like a lot of people focus on money. I want money. Well, why do you want money? What do you need money for? What's the money for? Because people will be like, I want to win the lottery. Okay, for what? Well, I want a new house. Okay, so imagine a new house. Money's middle. How you get it can come in any way. But if you're stuck on it has to be with the lottery or nothing at all, you're going to be playing the lottery for a while, right? But if you just imagine the house that you want and living in that house and decorating that house and having your holidays in that house, right? Working on different things, that'll come faster. The money will come faster, and it can show up in any way, right? I want a new car. Imagine the car. Don't worry about how the money comes. Know that the money came. Know that you already have that car. Whiskey. Good morning, Narita. Well, that's the passion part. I'm sure you've probably imagined different scenarios with, intimacy with him, and that's just part of it showing up. That's just part of it showing up. It happens a lot. I mean, come on. People talk about the makeup sex, that type of thing. There's a reason why that's there. It's because there's something within arguments that can turn a person on. So, it's natural. Do the manifestation candles work? If your intentions are there, yes. If you can believe it. The candle is just representing your intentions. So, depending on if you truly want to look into candle magic and candle work, my friend Ness is incredible with her candle magic. I trust her completely. She's done lots of work for me. You can find her on TikTok under Kissing X Toast. Um, she's incredible. She has done a lot of work for me, and she has helped me out in so many different ways. And she's she's amazing. Do you need it? No. But if that physical representation helps you see that manifestation is possible, by all means do it. I will never tell anybody not to do something that makes them feel better about it. You don't need it, but you can still do it. I've done that plenty, right? Is that black magic? No, that's not black magic. That's intention. That's like saying, um, it's just the physical representation of what your intention is, of what you're trying to manifest. Now, the same goes with your harsh words. Okay? People are so worried about, well, this person does black magic. Yeah, so does your neighbor. Your neighbor, anytime that they're saying, hey, get your dog under control, or, you know, they might say some bad things to you or wish bad things upon you. That's black magic. It's just, it's incantations. It's spoken words. Your word is your wand. Okay? Your intentions are your power. Okay? So, no, it's not black magic. It is your intention, and It's your power. It's just the physical representation of it. I understand that. I get that. That's understandable to be scared of black magic. But the fact of the matter is, most non-spiritual people are cursing you all the time. And you, them, depending, right? We've all said, God, I wish they would just blah, 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 right? And the next thing you know, something bad happened. That's why we get karma. Even though we don't think we do bad things, just wishing bad things on other people is our karma too, right? It's the golden rule. What you put out there comes back to you, right? Treat others the way that you want to be treated. Because if it's not accepted, right, good, bad, or indifferent, it comes back to you. So if your intentions are good, things will be okay. But we all slip, we all get angry, we all say things we don't necessarily mean, but there's power behind our words. There's power behind our intentions. So that's why so many people are scared of karma. But if your intentions are good, right? And if you accept when you screw up, right? That we're taught that. You screw up, you have consequences to pay, right? I've got this one. You were a badass. That's what we just did the second chapter today. You can either probably find it on Amazon on Kindle if you want to read it on your phone. But if you can't, like, if you have Audible or can listen to an audiobook of it, that's a good way too. I know reading isn't for everybody, but audiobooks are great. Listening to that, you might even be able to find people reading it on like YouTube as well. I find a lot of books that way, especially like the manifesting books, Neville Goddard's lectures, that type of thing. So you can probably find a lot of that on YouTube. Just search it. You never know. I know, like my husband, he's not a big reader, but he'll listen. He listens to TikToks all day. He listens to music. Like, what's the difference of listening to somebody reading a book? I'm gonna ask you guys to, after we get through this book and maybe the next one, what else you guys want to like kind of work on, or if there's any other books you want to kind of discuss and expand on. I know I have oh, I forget what it's called. It's another one, something about breaking the habit of yourself or being yourself. I have that one too that I've never really dove into, but I work with kids. You too, Sweet Rose. I'm going to be hopping off here in a moment. What does working with kids have to... Oh, because of the black magic. Is that what you mean? Oh, you mean to listen to the book? Just listen to it if you drive. Listen to it while you drive. Listen to it on your lunch. Listen to it on a break. Like, every little bit's just gonna help. You don't have to listen to it out loud. Oh, you hate to read. Yeah. Yeah, get an audio version of it. See if anybody on YouTube has it. It's called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. There's no reason why people can't still learn. I get sitting down and reading, obviously takes time and isn't always the most fun thing to do. And we have to make time we have to prioritize our time, right? But if reading a book isn't for you, get an audiobook of it. Listen to it. It's no different than listening to music, right? You're going to learn something. It's no different than watching a movie. If you can take 2 hours of your life to watch, a Lifetime movie, right? Take 10 minutes a day and listen to something that's going to enrich your life. That's it. That's all you need. 10 minutes. It'll make a huge difference. You'll see a shift in your life just with that, too. We can all make excuses of why this won't work or why we can't read. There's no reason why you can't listen. Well, you can rest and listen. You don't have to read. While you're making dinner, put it in. Let it play in the background. I will give you so many different reasons why you should versus why you can't. If you want to change your life, you'll take 10 minutes a day and you'll actively listen to something. You can listen in your car, you can listen on the train, you can listen on, the bus, you can listen, while you're in the bathroom. Like 10 minutes a day. That's all you really need is 10 minutes a day. I should be a teacher. Well, that's kind of what I do. I want to teach you guys this. I want to, I want to be a teacher. I do coaching. I do all of this. Yeah. I might not have a teaching certificate from, a college, but it is my calling to boost you guys up to learn how to do these things. Alright guys, it is 10 a.m. here, so I am going to hop off and get ready for my day. And I will be back later tonight, hopefully. It's my plan about between 6 and 7. I know it was a little late last night. So, I will be back then. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Again, if you're interested in coaching, you can message me. I'll be back doing yes, no's, and tarot readings later tonight. So if anybody wants to hop on the list before we get started, you can do so. I'm going to post our day 2 of our Thankful Challenge here in just a few moments. I hope you all have a fabulous day. Oh, I saw. And I hope you guys have a fabulous, fabulous day. And I will see you later tonight.